Hello, this is Andre from Chatta, and welcome once again. Thank you for tuning in. Today is such an important day. It's the presidential inauguration, so let's talk about it. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to thank you for being here, tuning in and watching, but I would like to please ask you to click the like, share, and subscribe buttons, especially those of you on YouTube. Share, like, and click that bell so that you don't miss a beat and you catch all of my most recent videos and postings. I'm also on other social media platforms. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram as well. So the presidential inauguration, wow, a lot of prep went into this, more than usual. And this is where the work begins. One of the reasons why I opened this channel was to hopefully start conversations amongst regular everyday people like you and me, people with a day job, stay-at-home parents, students, people from every day and every walk of life. A lot of people, as I was watching part of the inauguration on Facebook Live, they were posting Make America Love Again. And I would add a couple things to that. For starters, Make America Love, because it has been something that we probably as a nation have been struggling with to begin with. There have been a lot of issues that have now come to light in the most unavoidable way, that we can no longer pretend that they weren't there. And we're also, most importantly, realizing that these were things that we hadn't dealt with. There were traumas and experiences and hurt and damage that has been done and inflicted upon certain groups that have never experienced some type of proper redress. As with any relationship, the healthy way to heal the nation, heal the soul of this nation, like Biden made pretty much his whole campaign around. The healthy way to do that is to put it out there, acknowledge it, and say what steps we're going to take to correct it. And there has been some of that. So we, of course, need to be grateful for the work that is being spoken about that will be done. But we need to make sure that it gets done. And this is where the other part comes in. Making America love again. However we want to take that, whether it is making America love to begin with, or going back to certain feelings of unity, or that those ideals under which this nation was supposed to be conceived, the direction we're supposed to be heading, this more perfect union that we're striving to create, right? So there is a lot to do with regards to that. I posted too that one of those comments is that for all of those saying to make America love again, we need to remember that America is each one of us. Each one of us has to do their part. We have to work at it. Love is work. It doesn't come easy. It takes a lot of humility. It takes effort. It takes taking a couple steps. It takes effort. It takes taking a couple steps back, and sometimes saying, do you know what, this wasn't right, I was wrong, I made a mistake. And humility isn't necessarily one of the strong fortes in our culture. But if we are really earnest and honest about making America love again, this is part, in my very personal opinion, what it will take. We have to humbly accept that there were certain things that were not done right from our inception, and that it is well overdue time that we correct them. If we want to truly behave like we love this nation, we have to act like it. Love is action. Love is not just a word that we put out there and a kumbaya 5 minutes in front of cameras. Love is every day with every person that we encounter. Now, this seems like a lot to unpack and a lot to ask of people, especially after the year that we just went through and the year that we're starting out, that started with a bunch of people storming the Capitol, trying to overthrow our government and all kinds of stuff. There is so much healing and so much direction that needs to happen. And Marianne Williamson was in an interview, Marianne Williamson, the former presidential candidate, she was in an interview like last week, and she said that we need a 12-step America. And for me, that was the best way to put it, because I really believe that This is what we need as a country. We need to sit down, have a serious and honest word with ourselves and say, okay, this is where we're falling short. And even though it looks like there are so many places where we're falling short, we can take one piece of the pie at a time. And one of the things that we keep saying about ourselves is that we are the greatest, the biggest, the strongest country. Well, now is the time to prove it. How great, big, and strong are we? That means being able to tackle obstacles like we've never seen it before. Our strength shouldn't only be seen in our military, but how we treat our homeless people, how we treat the single parents, how we treat kids living in malnutrition, how we treat our elderly. Those are the places where we need to redirect our strength and our might and our excellence. That is what will make our nation excellent and help us achieve those ideals that we speak about so much. So my question is, how do you see yourself participating in this whole role of making America love again? How do you see yourself participating in forming this more perfect union? Biden and his cabinet can't do it by themselves. A lot of us voted and got him in there, but we also need to be honest that it was a very slim majority. It is approximately 170 million people on average that kind of vote, anywhere between 150 and 170 million. We have to understand that the margin of victory was anywhere between 52 to 54%. So that means there's probably a good 48 to 46% of the country that were still in support of this, even though they had 4 years to see the results of it, right? And even after this occurred, denying the results, storming the Capitol, his popularity didn't decrease that much. The stronghold on the party from the exiting president didn't decrease that much. So those are all things that we need to be not concerned about, but be aware. We need to also be aware of how close we came to going into an uncontrollable tailspin that could have led us Lord knows where. So we need to take all of this as it is and really just take 5 minutes and meditate about what's the message we want to give to our kids, the future generations, what we want this country to look like. Well, we have a definite message of what a group of people in this country want it to look like, right? But if we want the contrary, we have to be unapologetic about that view. We need to be certain and clear and determined that we will make it look the way we feel it needs to look. If we are talking love, we need to exercise love every day, not be casual about it. The way we speak, the way we think about each other, the assumptions we make that we need to stop making, right? All of these things. Love is action. And love is work. Relationships with our family are not easy. I can tell you that from first-hand experience with some personal things that I'm working on right now. Like my mom says, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep on going. This is how we will make America love to begin with. I'm not too keen about anything about the again. I feel that we are probably the greatest experiment of democracy and so many other things in this nature. We are still experimenting. We're still working on a lot of stuff. And we must be honest with that. There was a point where we were constantly making achievements, and then things kind of came to a standstill, right? And we started going in the opposite direction. And to avoid getting to that point where we just kind of rescued ourselves from, it is super important that we analyze what went wrong, how it went wrong, what corrective steps need to be taken, and sometimes just be honest about how involved and challenging that work is going to be. We want it to be quick and easy, but it's not going to be. Some of us may not live to see the end results of the effort that we're putting in today. And this is something that we need to be selflessly aware of. We may not see the result of the good that we're putting in, of the love that we're showing, but that should never stop us. If in our hearts we truly want to make this country love, if we truly want to be better than we've ever been, because we've seen the dire consequences of putting democracy on autopilot and thinking that it's going to just right itself. It doesn't work like that. Democracy requires participation. And I think that this is probably just the first stepping stone of unleashing the greatest potential that we've ever seen, of taking this country in the best direction it's ever been. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves, everyone. Stay safe out there. And let's get this done. Hey, this is Andre from Chatta, and thank you so much for watching. Please remember to click the bell on the bottom of your screen if you're tuning in on YouTube. That way you don't ever miss a beat or any of my upcoming videos. Thank you once again for all your support. I'm on all different platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to follow me there and like, share, subscribe. Please comment. Let me know what you think. Remember, let's keep this conversation going and just chat about it.